There is no white culture. Culture is connected to ethnicity and heritage. All you have to do is you don't have white food. You do have Irish food. You have French food. You do have Scottish food.
Italian
But
food? Yeah,
that's right. That's
yeah,
just a social
delicious. Yeah.
construction. When we say blackness, we're talking about diaspora. We're talking about culture. Yes, we may be talking about color too, but you're really talking about culture and heritage because we have been removed from the direct line of knowing exactly where we come from.
We're ready. We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We will survive.
It really comes down to, and what I'm hearing is an insecurity around our identity. This desire, even among folk who consider themselves white, you don't know who you are. So you're going to protect this thing and you're going to call it your heritage. You're going to call that Confederate flag your heritage. You're going to call whiteness your heritage. You're going to say, I'm preserving and protecting my heritage, but you don't really know who you are. You are a wayward child. And I feel like we are in a battle with children, petulant, wayward, insecure, sad, lonely children. And some of us are those children as well. We need to grow up.
Come on.
What are your thoughts on that, Pastor?
There is no white culture. Culture is connected to ethnicity and heritage. All you have to do is you don't have white food. You do have Irish food. You have French food. You do have Scottish food.
Italian food? Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's just a social
Delicious,
construction.
yeah.
When we say blackness, we're talking about diaspora. We're talking about culture. Yes, we may be talking about color too, but you're really talking about culture and heritage because we have been removed from the direct line of knowing exactly where we come from. And that's why Trinity sent a group of young people to West Africa, specifically the Senegambia region, because we know that 25% of Black people in the United States come from that region. We want them to be connected with their culture and their heritage that is beyond just North America.
So you just came back from, you guys were in Ghana?
We were in the Gambia and Senegal, and then we also went to Istanbul, Turkey.
Oh, okay. And how many did you take? How many children?
We took a total of 70 people went, but there were 6, we call the Ubuntu Scholars Project. So any young person who finishes our Rites of Passage program is then eligible for a study abroad project. This is the first cohort, and these young people were amazing. I mean, absolutely extraordinary. They're at schools all across the country, everything from Howard, University of Illinois, to Xavier, and a variety of schools, just really doing excellent work. And we wanted to put them in contact with scholars and with communities where they would have the opportunity to study. And we had a film crew too. So they were doing a documentary on these 6 young people from the South Side of Chicago who returned to the continent for the first time. And they just had it was a life-changing experience for them. It really was.
Let's back up too, because as I mentioned, I think we are a nation of children. Not just that we're a young nation, we're immature, so small and immature. This rites of passage, I've been talking with Dr. Daniel Black about doing something in Nubia around this. He's agreed. We got to work this, out, because I think that's the thing that was broken as well. People don't realize most of the captured individuals were children who had not gone through a rite of passage. They had not gone through a rite of passage, and they were thrown in a hold of ships and survived, a middle passage, but not a rite of passage. So they were not adults, and they didn't know their ways. And so they're thrown in together, and they may have different languages and cultures and things. And now you're one thing, you're Black, you're a slave, you're 3/5, you're this, you're dark, you're ugly, you're all of these things for 400 years. So what is that process? Where do you start with that?
Our rites process starts at about the age 10. It goes from 10 to 18. And it is for boys and for girls. And we have just an amazing group of mentors that work with these young people. Well, first of all, the curriculum is you have to know your history. They teach African American and history in the diaspora, and West African history. They teach the African roots of their faith. We do that. That's that's non-negotiable. The other piece is some very simple things: how to communicate, how to build relationships with elders, things that you would learn on the front porch in the South, in terms of having these relationships with elders, how to dress. I mean, teaching a young man how to just tie a tie. I mean, just something simple as that. How to cook, how to clean up, how to write a thank you note. I mean, just some very basic things. What do you need to know as an adult? And then accountability, accountability, accountability. No hovering moms and dads. No, when they're dropped off in this program and they go off to camp, I'm sorry, there's not going to be any cell phones, nothing. They're going to teach them some very basic things that young men should learn. And of course, do all the outings and all of that, just for the young men and also for the young women. It's a wonderful program. And at 18, we have a public ceremony in the church to celebrate someone crossing into adulthood. And it's a huge celebration that we do in the middle of service.
Oh, I love it. And after going through that, you now become eligible to go.
Correct.
And this is the first time you've taken a group.
This is the first time. It took us about a year and a half. We had to raise money for this because we wanted to make sure that there are no issues, economic issues for anybody going who wants to go. And this was the first cohort: 3 young men, 3 young women. Brilliant. Yeah. And when I say they got it in, I mean, they studied with the scholar, Michael Gomez from NYU, who is one of the preeminent experts on West Africa. That he was the scholar in residence for them. And when they arrived there, I'll tell you one place that moved the young people and moved the adults that went also, but moved them, was in the Gambia. We went to Kunta Kinte Island. Now, people hear about Gorée Island and hear about Cape Coast.
There's a
Kunta Kinte, which is known as St. James. Yeah, Kunta Kinte Island. Yes. It's known as St. James Island. Similar to what
where is
it's in the
where
Gambia.
is it exactly? Okay.
It's right off the coast of the Gambia, in what is the village where Kunta Kinte, Alex Haley's lineage would come from. And what was so horrific, painful, and also at the same time incredible is you have this island that literally is about 3, maybe 5 kilometers off the coast. So you can see the coastline. You can see people on the coastline. And our tour guides were sharing with us.
So pause for a second, Reverend. So there's that hunk in West Africa that I call like that curve, right?
Yes.
And you have Ghana here. Like I'm pointing to my thumb. So if you cup your hand like a C, you have Ghana. Next to Ghana is what they call, was it the Ivory Coast or
Yes.
No. So next to Ghana is Nigeria, then the Ivory Coast, and then on the other side is Benin. The other side of Ghana is Benin and Senegal. Like I'm trying to get.
You're gonna go up farther north of the coast.
Okay.
And then you have Senegal. Senegal is part of the Sahel states, which are basically French speaking. So Senegal borders, is it Mauritania, Mali, and then Burkina Faso?
Yes. Okay.
Are the spaces.
And we should know this. We should know this, right? Yeah. Because matter of fact, I got a map on my desk. Okay. So it's Ghana, Togo, Benin, right? So Ghana, Togo, above Ghana, Benin, next to those 3, Nigeria. On the other side is the Ivory Coast, Guinea, Senegal, going up Sierra Leone and Liberia, right under Ivory Coast, right under Guinea, and then there's the what do they call that now? They call it now Burkina Faso, but it was called Guinea-Bissau before. Did they change?
Upper Volta.
They changed the name.
It was called Upper Volta.
Yes. So I wanted to point something out, right? So you have French speaking. You have colonized Liberia, which they did to the people there that they did to the people here, the indigenous people here, where they sent, which is the dirtiest thing they did, was to send Black Africans that were enslaved back there to colonize and then strip those
Right,
people of their
right,
rights to even govern, which is crazy. You have
right.
France took over the Ivory Coast, so they speak French there. You have Ghana, which speaks English. I think Togo speaks French. Do this Togo?
I'm not sure. I'm
Senegal,
not sure what the
yeah,
Senegal speaks
speaks
French.
speaks
The
French.
Gambia, which is surrounded by Senegal, speaks English because
So,
basically the
so
Gambia is in the mid is in the middle. Well, Senegal borders all of the Gambia. It's the smallest country in Africa.
before you finish, the point I
Mm.
want people to sit with, people are already there. How indelibly etched into their psyche was this colonization that
Mm-hmm.
their
Yeah,
official language, their official language is English or French or Dutch.
right. Yes.
All right, continue. I'm sorry. So
Oh no, you're
so
on it
so
with that.
where's the island that you could see the coast?
So
Did you have
you're
to
in the
take a boat there?
Gambia. Yeah, you should take a little fishing boat. You're in the Gambia. Gambia's extremely tiny. Wonderful place though. Please, I hope people get a chance to go visit the Gambia. So you go off the coast, and there's this island that is essentially eroding. It was a fort. It was called St. James, where they held. It was the prison for people of African descent. And the tour guides were telling us, they said the horror of this is that you would imprison someone and the windows could see the coast. You could see where your family was, but you couldn't get to them. You could just, the distance, this 5 kilometer distance. And here we are on the island, and we're touring the ruins. And interestingly enough, I have to add this interesting side point. The reason it's called Kunta Kinte Island has everything to do with Jermaine Jackson. This is the craziest story. So Jermaine Jackson visits this area in the Gambia. He read Roots. He visits, and he said, "Why do you call it St. James?" They said, "That's European. Shouldn't you call it Kunta Kinte Island?" So he gives some money for a marker, and they rename it Kunta Kinte Island. So the reason it's called Kunta Kinte is because of Jermaine Jackson of the Jackson Five, which
Who
blew me
people
away.
who people don't know is also in the Nation of Islam or affiliated.
Really? Okay, I did
People
not
don't
know
know
that.
his roots. Yeah, like there's some stuff going on. Oh my goodness, there's so much here. Okay, so you get to this island.
So
This is your first time? Is this your
This is
first
my
time
first
there,
time.
Reverend Moss?
Yeah, this is our first time in Gambia. We've been to Africa before. Been to Ghana, been to South Africa, been to Ethiopia, Egypt. All those places. But this is the first time to Gambia and to Senegal. So we get to the island, Karen, and the tour guides, who were absolutely extraordinary. They take us around, and then they take the young people and they say, "I want you to go into this room." This was the dungeon. It is physically designed for 6 people, but they would hold 40. And there's a small hole, yes, they would drop food in. And he said the process was basically to weed out the weakest so that they would literally die in that space. It was mind-blowing. But what we did, what was amazing, was the tour guide says, "But I want you to know, look at the trees, the boba trees that are on this island. They were present when your ancestors were taken." And so when we ended the time on the island, I asked everybody to put their hand on a tree, and we're going to pray, because these trees had seen strange fruit. These trees had witnessed, these roots are running deep. But here was the wonderful thing. Our young people, because they're young, they went on the side of the island, we weren't allowed to go to. You had to kind of go on rocks and then, might fall in. We didn't know they did this. But they took pictures of the trees. Come to find out, the trees had names etched in them. More than likely, some of our ancestors had left their mark on the tree. And they came back and told everyone. They said, "We found this on the tree. You think this might be the name of our ancestors?"
Mm, mm.
We were done. We were absolutely done. It was powerful to be in that presence and for it to be such a sacred space.
We're ready. We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We